Hello there, I am Brandon Jones. I'm joined by Daniel Bloodworth and Brad
Yo.
Ellis.
Yo.
And Bloodworth right now is looking at a mountain of information involving the recent acquisition by Sony and PlayStation of Bungie, which does that Destiny there. We should maybe start. How much Destiny you've been playing? How much Destiny did you play last year, Brad Ellis?
Last year? 0.
But you have played
really?
Destiny 2, though, a bunch.
I played Destiny 2 when it came out, but that was about it.
Oh, okay.
Huber
okay.
is the one that plays a lot.
But he
Huber
doesn't
plays the
drag
most,
you
yeah.
in.
He tries to, but I say, no, Huber.
Do you see more Destiny in your future following the acquisition of Sony of Bungie?
Maybe.
Are they about
Sure,
to raise the
I'm never,
stakes?
I'm never, out 100%. If there's something that comes along and sparks my interest, yeah.
It's like Endwalker. You're done with the end of an era. You got to move on to something else. You know, it's time to open new doors. What did they buy it for? That's like the one thing I don't know. Blood.
$3.6 billion.
Got to be. Got to be a couple bill.
Yeah, and let's get the big craziness out of the way, which Sony even led with on their blog. Bungie will remain an independent, weird word to me, and multi-platform studio and publisher. So yeah, Destiny is not going to become an exclusive. In fact, it sounds like their future games are not going to become exclusive. In fact, it sounds like just the opposite. There's a big, long interview on GamesIndustry.biz with Jim Ryan and Pete Parsons of Bungie. Jim Ryan is of Sony. And it sounds like Sony is using this to help them leverage their way into moving outside of PlayStation, becoming a multi-platform publisher themselves. So what the heck? This is just like the opposite of what you picture when you hear about an acquisition like this.
Yeah, it's wild. I immediately thought, I wonder if Destiny's going to go PlayStation PC only in the future or something like that. But it's the exact opposite, it seems, right now.
Yeah.
Which is insane, because Sony's usually pretty close about what they keep, or
Yeah.
multi-platform. It's like usually PlayStation first, maybe some PC ports 4 years later. But this is crazy.
It could be a part of it. I wonder if that messaging, Blood, is specifically following, the last week's news that they're like, oh yeah, well, Destiny will still be on everything. Take our COD. We don't need it. It's like I wonder if that's like a COD Destiny, shuffle. I don't know.
Well, they actually asked about that, and obviously they're like, yeah, this has been in the works for a while. This isn't a response to anything.
Just the verbiage, just specifically what they were talking
but
about today.
But here's what here's the big quote from Jim Ryan, the one that really got my attention. So, I've been on record talking about increasing the size of the PlayStation community and expanding beyond our historic console heartland. What a name. What a word.
Yeah.
This can take many forms, and definitely one of the main ones is the ability for the wonderful games that we've been making over the past 25 years. So not even just talking about new games. The games we've been making for the past 25 years to be enjoyed in different places and played in different ways.
Whoa.
We're starting to go multi-platform. This is out of Sony's mouth.
Wow.
You've seen that. We have an aggressive roadmap with live services and the opportunity to work with and particularly learn from the brilliant and talented people from Bungie that is going to considerably accelerate the journey we find ourselves on.
We're multi-platform, and you know this, man.
Yeah. Blood, when they say about all the PlayStation history, that makes me really curious about the Spartacus stuff.
Right.
Their supposed Game Pass-esque thing. I wonder if that's going to be on other stuff besides PlayStation then.
Right. Yeah, I would have to imagine, because, God of War just came out on PC. A couple of other Sony games have been out on PC. I have to imagine that what they're launching will be similar to Game Pass, to where you can play these things on PlayStation or on PC, and if they add the cloud element, perhaps on mobile as well.
Yeah.
What if every PlayStation game ever just was on Steam one day? But just Steam, not PlayStation. You're like, wait, what? I wonder how far, they're going to take this.
You have no idea how much I would just love to buy, the original Resident Evil trilogy. Even though those are Capcom games, but they're on PlayStation, if I could just get the third-party games just on there also, so they're not just on PS1.
Yeah. Siphon Filter, I want to play that tonight.
Just
on
anything,
PC.
yeah.
It does sound in a lot of ways, too, that whatever Bungie is currently got under wraps, what they're working on seems to be a big part of this.
Live service game. So they keep emphasizing live service, the future.
Yeah,
Get PlayStation in on that.
because one of the biggest things that that Bungie mentioned in their note was the biggest thing that means for us is that we're going to be hiring.
My goodness. Yeah.
They also talked about film and TV. They're making an IP that is going to go across not just games but also film and TV as well. So it makes me really wonder that like whatever they're about to unveil seems like it's going to have a lot more of an identity, more of a recognition factor than even Destiny does.
Yeah, maybe.
Are they just starting that, or do you think that might be announced at the end of this year or in 2023? Like Bungie's next big thing? Because you were saying like it seems like it's not.
It sounds like it's been in the works for some time.
It would make sense. Yeah, they've just been really focused on this one franchise. One would assume it'd be a shooter. To try another shooter, something.
Right.
Since Sony doesn't have any FPSs like at all, so yeah. It makes sense.
Yeah, I think somebody brought that up recently as well. Like we used to have, all of these Sony shooters, and one by one they've kind of gone to the wayside for other projects.
Now they're going to lose COD. Halo's just killing it. This in sales, it's looking bleak.
But I mean, speaking of Halo, Bungie used to be Xbox exclusive.
That's so weird.
Talk about changing sides.
I mean, it's just it's a company that used to be. I guess that's my other question. Is like, what is Bungie today other than Destiny? Like, what do we? Or like, how many people are still left from that original team that was with Xbox? It was interesting to have Joseph Staten totally leave and then just like come back to Xbox because they called him in. Like, I wonder if we'll see some old Bungie vets come back, to work on a project because it's like, now that we got Sony in the room, they just made a really interesting pitch and. Kudos to Sony for getting a breaking news segment for only $3 billion. They didn't have to go double digits.
I know.
I mean, because here we are a week later. Now we're talking about Sony. That's what's funny to me is them pumping their message into this, being like, it's not just Bungie, get ready. So I wonder if like 2022 is going to be the most acquisitions we've ever seen in the industry. Just crazy.
It certainly seems like that. We've already gotten Activision Blizzard King this month and now this.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Here's another good quote from Jim Ryan. A couple of things here. So actually, two different separate quotes really. So again about like the roadmap or whatever. He's like, I can't go into details today, but we have an amazing roadmap on how to do that. But here, I would back us to do live service games ourselves. But when you have the potential to have a partner like Bungie who has been there, done it all before, learned the lessons, and have got this wonderful, brilliant team who is there and has the potential to help us.
Learn the lessons, shot fired.
Yeah, we think we can take something that would have taken a certain number of years and significantly decrease the time it will take to get it right.
Wow.
And, like Destiny it's on Stadia. Like, Destiny is on anything that you can put Destiny on. And so it's really interesting to see how that's, again, how is that going to play out? Crossplay is probably going to be a big factor in all of that, which is interesting considering like Halo has actually been getting a lot of complaints about crossplay. It's like, let us turn this off.
Yeah.
We don't want to play against these mouse and keyboard players or the cheaters or whatever.
But at the same time, like in kind of a bit of desperation for Halo really to make a big splash this holiday season, they made it free. There's like the multiplayer portion, just get in, and then like dropped it one day. It was like shadow drop Halo multiplayer. Today's the day. We all jump in, and I think that like it did really really well. I wonder if Sony was like finishing up, like the finer points of this deal, before the holidays, and we're just like, how can we counter that? And it's like, let's just, if we're going to make this acquisition, let's make it as accessible as possible. And it's funny, after Halo's like big free to play, party, Microsoft's just clamping down on all these other like franchises. Like, no, this is just us. It's gonna be interesting to see if it's like nice guy Sony this gen. If they're like, no, come on in, have some free.
We'll see.
More PlayStation free Plus games and free PS2 games on Steam. Just weird initiatives and weird, events and stuff.
Jim Ryan also said in that game with Game.biz, I believe, said we should expect more when it comes to further PlayStation acquisitions.
Yeah.
So
they're not done.
Wow.
Yep.
They're gonna spend $70 billion, but on
maybe like
30
10
different
studios.
companies.
Yeah, 30.
Yeah, and that like and they say here that this is this is a strategic partnership. This really wasn't about consolidating the industry or whatever, but when they talk about more coming up, then it's like, it does raise those flags. It's like, all right, slow down. We don't want to like get to a point where we just have these two titan companies and everybody else trying to pick up the scraps.
But it's funny, Brad. I'm trying to get inside the head of the Destiny elite. You know, like because I reviewed Destiny on PlayStation 4. And it was the Sony press conference, correct me if I'm wrong, that showed Destiny for the first time. I remember Staten and Jones, Jonesy came out on stage with Staten and they played like the first level that we've all played a billion times now. And so it's like I always kind of thought about Destiny tied with Sony in a weird way. It's one of those you have to question, like how much have they done, or was there any advanced console version or something? And then this is from, so like there might have been people that were very much involved in the Xbox ecosystem for Halo that left with Bungie, maybe over to Sony, and are now kind of more in the PlayStation 5 ecosystem. And then this happens. And they're like, I'm in the Nexus. I made it. It's like I don't have to get a new console. I don't have to get new friends or a community. Like, whoa, where are they going with this? So I wonder how much... It sounds like they want to assure Bungie or Destiny players that no,
yeah.
not much is going to change. But at the same time, I'd be like, please go nuts,
Yeah.
Give me some console exclusivity
whatever
over here.
the Destiny roadmap will probably continue as play on multi-platform, but yeah, they probably have more than one game cooking, so who knows what's going to come of that.
Because I have played a lot of Destiny, but it's fun. They're good with the shooting.
It's good.
They're good at the 343 proved it too. 343 is like, we're good too. Like it's neat. It's neat to have to feel confidence in these. But like, what an interesting play for such a paltry percentage of what Xbox just shelled out to get any infinite number of franchises potentially. Yeah. But then it's like, whoa, like we kind of pondered, but I think there's just a little more mystique around like, oh yeah, what is Bungie's next?
Yeah.
Any more bits of info from the headlines that we missed?
I don't know that there's anything else. Yeah, I think we kind of hit all the biggest things. It's just very, it's very crazy. It's very curious to see what they're doing, because it's hard for me. I'm sure like as a stockholder they make sense, but it's like hard for me like as a PlayStation gamer, like like what is there to be excited for here? Like what do they bring to the table? It's just. It's kind of a funny thing. It's like, well, the thing that they bring to a table is they're going to allow PlayStation to get onto more things.
Yeah.
So your PS5 will only be integral for certain specific features or whatever.
It's just, I don't know, man. This whole thing's just crazy. Just hearing Sony even talk like this about other platforms and comparing platforms. It's insane. Yeah. It's like, are you going to tell me Nintendo's going to be the next one to do this? Like, I have no idea now what's going to happen.
Well, one of the rumors that was going around last week, right, was, with the Call of Duty news, is that, that Xbox is going to try to get Game Pass onto PlayStation or something, right?
We've been hearing about that for a while, yeah.
So it's like, is there some kind of weird deal working out to where, like, Game Pass will just be both of them somehow? Like, is that even in the cards that, like somehow Sony and Xbox join up and there's Game Pass is just one subscription?
It's like I'm playing Sony's owned Bungie shooter franchise through Game Pass on my PlayStation 5. It's like, otherwise, I'd have to buy it on my PlayStation 5 unless I got it last month for the free PlayStation Plus, but only for 2 weeks. Like, yeah, it's gonna get weird.
Huh. I'm really hoping they'll do like how Microsoft has or Xbox has their app on PC. I hope PlayStation does something like that for the PC in the future. That'd be sweet.
Well, one of the things that was going around today too is PlayStation is rolling out a link with Discord.
Yeah.
So that you can see like the status if somebody's playing a PlayStation game. You can see that on Discord if they're signed in.
Cool.
Yeah. So that potentially ties into this as well as making the PSN accounts a little bit more portable and functional on different platforms. So I wonder, because like right now, have you played any of those like Days Gone or anything on PC? Like you don't sign into PSN or anything when you do that, right?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
It's usually separate, yeah.
Yeah.
Not to be a naysayer or a negative Nancy, but Bungie wasn't owned, and then they were owned, and then they were like, peace out, and now they're bought again. Is this gonna last? Are they just gonna ride this out for this gen and then have a big Independence Day party, or what? Or is this?
But
Bungie
Jones, that's the
thing
that's so weird about these announcements, because again, like they start off with like they are going to remain independent
Right.
and multi-platform. Like
And
the way that
publishing,
the way that they're talking about it is, it's like, okay, we're going to own them, but they're still just going to do whatever they want to do. It's such a strange.
I think
focus on that.
It seems like them just telling Destiny players, like, don't stop playing what you're playing on what you're playing. Keep going. We're not messing with you at all. We'll mess with you at the Game Awards at the end of this year with the big ass CG trailer for some crazy stuff. You know,
right? But it just
Sony's
sounds like
not at
even,
E3, so like they're gonna have their own little Bungie crazy event, you know, and reveal whatever this next thing is, and that will probably be exclusive. But who knows? Because they'll be like, oh no, that thing we were talking about, that was at the time. But they don't want to show their cards, man. It's interesting when somebody announces exclusivity, because it's like, oh, I guess you can maybe take that back. But if I was Sony, I'd be like, okay, we got.
But that's the difference, though, right? Because with the Xbox deals, both of them, they were kind of cagey. They were kind of dodging the questions, like, we're going to honor existing contracts, you know. Well, it's like, of course, you kind of have to. But with this, there's like, first thing, Destiny is not going anywhere. Bungie's futures games, we want them to be on multi-platform. In fact, we want all of our stuff to be like, it's just like the emphasis on this not being exclusive is very interesting.
We get Phil Spencer and Jim Ryan. We hook them both up to lie detectors simultaneously, and we just say the names of franchises. Just we got a tick. I think it's exclusive. Yeah. I don't think I'm playing that one again on a PlayStation controller unless they allow me to plug it into my Xbox Series X. Who knows? What is the future? We have to do breaking news on every single announcement. How many breaking newses are we going to do in the month of February? What's going to happen? Are we going to get through February without billions of dollars being spent, Brett Ellis, on whatever, on Sega, on Konami?
No.
On EA?
No. I think I'm feeling another one. Feel the tremors in the ground.
Yeah.
I don't think that we probably will. I think Blue Point. When was Blue Point? Blue Point was a while back. And then what was before Blue Point?
Yeah, people are just frisky because it's the financial.
They usually take a couple
year.
months. They usually take a couple months between one and the next. Unless
who says Microsoft's got to take a couple months? What if Nintendo's getting hungry?
They don't know.
Nintendo's definitely not hungry.
I
don't think they would even buy Next Level Games unless Next Level Games had.
Yeah.
You know, if they hadn't said, "Hey, we're going to sell to somebody," like Nintendo was like, "Oh, nope, no, you're not. You're not. Stay here."
Like when everyone called Nintendo after Next Level, and they were like, "Who else?" Nintendo just hung the phone up. They were like, "We're not. No, this is a very, very rare thing. These companies seem hungry. This is gonna be a bloodbath, but it's gonna be very fun to watch and listen to. And thanks to Brad Ellis and Daniel Bloodworth, especially you, Bloodworth, for looking up the news and having those headlines there. We can chat about it and then, of course, dig into it way more on the Easy Allies podcast.
Yeah, for sure.
So stay tuned. Thank you for listening and or watching. Thank you, Blood. Thank you, Brad. See you soon.